Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. If I wasn't so bad at English, I could say words. Welcome to Mr. Z StarCraft, Mr. Z TV. I am Mr. Z, and once again, another StarCraft 2 game brought to you by Mr. Z. Mr. Z, Mr. Z, Mr. Z. That is my name. That is what I go by on the internets, and we have Trader, who is Liquid HuK. Oh my god, Liquid HuK is so awesome. We have Liquid HuK against Southeast Asia's MoonGlade. Oh, Southeast Asia! I grew up in Singapore, and I love Southeast Asia. Singapore is an awesome place. If you haven't been, I do recommend you go. They do speak English there, and so you won't have much trouble if you are an English speaker. Going around there. The accent might be a little difficult, but nothing too troublesome. So we do have HuK, who is now residing in Korea, doing a little bit of that GSL. Very awesome player, doing very well right now. A very strong Protoss player against MoonGlade, who I actually have not seen much from him. So this is probably, I feel like this is my first, no, this might be my second time, in fact, watching MoonGlade play, and he is playing as the Purple Zerg. I love the Purple Zerg. Oh, everyone besides streamers. Oh, who else is here? Oh, look at that. Oh, well, I am streaming this game right now. It is not live, but it is being streamed nonetheless, and we have an expansion for MoonGlade. Very standard, and it looks like HuK is going to go for that Forge first, but MoonGlade sees what's up, and he's going to be able to see exactly what's going on. Oh, HuK being so bold with those pylons, and this is just really annoying for Zerg to deal with. It's just this cannon rushing, masquerading business here, and it looks like, oh, that probe nearly getting killed, and that is just really bad. And HuK sending a second probe over. He really wants this cannon rush to go through, and it looks like that one pylon will finally fall, and this is just such a good position for a pylon. You can see that there's very little surface area here for the drones to work with, and there we go, one and two cannons going down, and one of them is bound to complete. And this is exactly why Forge First is so difficult to pull off against, a Fast Expand is so difficult to pull off against the Forge First build, but it looks like MoonGlade, pulling quite a few drones, is going to be able to stop this for now. But look at all those cannons going down, and the drones are going to have a very difficult time getting the surface area they need to stop this. It looks like he takes another cannon down, and this pylon will finally go down, and everything gets cancelled, and it looks like MoonGlade has this thing defended. So there you have it, gentlemen. How to defend a Forge First Protoss when you're fast expanding as Zerg, and that was just Class A study material right there for all you new Zerg players. Check out MoonGlade, because he's got it down, at least for the first part of this game. He's been able to defend HuK's cannon rush so far, which is deadly, mind you. And MoonGlade will just be continuing on his way, just mining with his drones. His pool is up, extractor on the way now, and let's see what HuK has decided to do for a transition. Gateway now coming up, and mining gas. Right now, he might be wanting to go for a +1. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's probably what he's going to do with his gas, seeing as he doesn't actually have a cybernetics core around, and it looks like a cannon on the side. Oh, HuK, you dirty person. Oh, and a third cannon going down. Oh my goodness. And it looks like MoonGlade is probably very aware of this, putting down 2 spine crawlers, 3 spine crawlers, and I kind of like that response, but I'm actually not familiar with what you do in this situation, as most Protosses aren't that adamant about their cannon rushing against me, and it looks like these cannons will finally finish, and so this extractor and possibly the spine crawler is going to be in trouble. And no, the cannon is just barely out of range, but this one is in range. Uh-oh, and MoonGlade is going to be in a lot of trouble now. This spine crawler going to be dying before it finishes, and it gets cancelled at the very last moment, so saving all the money he can get. Very nice job by MoonGlade. I wonder if this spine crawler can reach, and no, but it looks like this cannon rush not going to go any further. Now, MoonGlade needs to figure out how he can wipe out these cannons, and very nice, sneaking his spine crawlers up so that the cannons cannot fire, cannot kill them one at a time. And there we go, the spine crawlers are now down. I wonder if MoonGlade will pull this spine crawler back when it gets low, and it looks like it is able to kill that just in time. MoonGlade trying to get his extractor up as quickly as possible, but having to cancel that once again. Meanwhile, HuK has his cyber core down, and it looks like, uh-oh, the 4-gate. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 gates is a lot of gateways for one base. One base, 4 gateways, a lot of aggression, possibly a very, very dead Zerg player. Let's see what MoonGlade has. He has 12 Zerglings on the way. If he continues to make Zerglings, he could be very set for this. He got supply blocked for a moment there, but the Overlord popped out just in time. And it looks like these Zerglings will be trying to move in. Let's see if they can take down these cannons. And he does get one of them, and he will get the second one. Yes, he does. And this cannon rush finally cleaned up. The issue now, however, is this 4-gate expand, and it looks like MoonGlade sending that Hero Overlord in sees all. So very, very solid play by MoonGlade so far. I am just so impressed. Once again, this is like my second time watching him play, so all this is very new to me, but what I see, I really, really like, ladies and gentlemen. And Speed Zergling kicking in right now. They drank their shot of caffeine, and now these Zerglings are sprinting down the map. They will see that HuK has a lot of sentries, and that is all they will see. Unfortunately, unfortunately, MoonGlade did not see the expansion. But MoonGlade does know that it's a 4-gate, so he could be making an excessive amount of units right now for an aggressive attack that's probably not going to happen for a while. And that could be really, really bad, because as a Zerg player, 5 gateways, as a Zerg player, you really want to get away with as many drones as you can, and it looks like finally these Lings will come in and see that there is an expansion nearly finished. And let's go and take a look at the production tab, see how he responds. A lot of roaches out, and that will be able to possibly wipe out this Sentry army. And if they get up into a good position, the Zerg army could potentially punish this Protoss army very well, but force fields could stop everything, and those are some fairly nice force fields. Zealots still being sniped, though, and Zerglings from the back. Not too many, though. If there were more Zerglings there, those sentries would have been screwed. But it looks like the force fields will finally be disappearing now, and we have MoonGlade coming here on an aggressive maneuver. The Roach is very, very slow without that upgrade, and those sentries doing a little of that kite micro that you commonly see with bio armies. And every unit out on the map is just as slow as the next. As finally they make it to the opponent's base, HuK in a defensive posture now. And he has quite a few sentries with a lot of energy on them. Just take a look at that. And that is going to be very good. MoonGlade taking his third. Good timing on that third, despite the fact that he was being harassed so much early on. He gets that third at a good time. And here's that Hydralisk den out. The robotics facility just started for HuK. Now, let me go ahead and find that there. There it is. And HuK probably wants to be getting these 2 gases, but I don't know. He's certainly a better player than me, and I'm sure he knows what he's doing. With a lot of minerals, you can get a lot of extra kind of economy out, extra infrastructure out mostly, and you really don't want to be getting those gases too early, but there we go. HuK knows the exact timing he wants them, and that's probably going to line up very nicely with this robotics facility. He's probably going to be putting down that Robo Bay once the facility finishes, allowing him the Colossi, which are such strong units here against the Zerg race, as they wipe out Hydralisks and Zerglings almost instantly and do fairly well against Roaches. And the the best option for the Zerg player is those Corruptors with that Spire tech. And in the previous game I casted of we had Sen versus White Rock. We just saw how strong those Colossi were. Despite Sen having fairly good timing on his Spire, the Corruptors just weren't enough to really do the damage they needed against the Colossi. We have An Changeling moving down now, and it gets shot right as it meets the Protoss army. HuK ain't gonna take any of that. He is so ready, and gonna take control of this Xel'Naga tower. And the Roaches have speed now, and they are on creep, and they will try to do a little bit of damage, but pulling back right as they reach HuK's army. So far, Very passive play from both, but they do not want to engage right now. MoonGlade really wants his expansion to be up and running before he makes any aggressive maneuver, and look at how many drones that is. That is a very good drone count. And the saturations on his bases are looking quite healthy, but it looks like HuK is going to put an end to the safe haven feeling that the Zerg player has been getting for a while. Wiping out these creep tumors is very good by HuK. You really want to keep that creep under control. It's like you got to shave. You know, you got to keep your hair under control. You got to keep that creep tumor spread very nice and tidy as a Protoss player. And it looks like HuK going to be taking a third now. I really like this timing for the third for the Protoss player. So each player getting their bases at just about the good time. And it looks like this observer by HuK just seeing everything. And one thing I have to say about HuK's play is he keeps his observers very, very active. And I really like that. With that very active observer, you really get all the information you need as a Protoss player to move around, and I think that as the game evolves, sniping those observers will become more and more important because they just allow the Protoss player to formulate such good attack plans and such good troop movement too. It's just so key for a Protoss player to utilize those observers, and each observer is so precious because they take up time. Time is a resource. They take up time from this robotics facility. Building observers makes it so the robo facility can't build colossi, and so you really need to make it well worth its time and money, though it doesn't cost very much. So far, passivity, MoonGlade taking the high yield, and HuK knows all about it. He's all over that high yield expansion. And once that comes up, I'm sure he's going to be pushing in, not going to be allowing it to really kick in. And here's one other thing to note, right? HuK got that early forge, so yeah, he's going to be looking good on those upgrades, but until he gets that Twilight Council out, which is on the way, he's not going to be able to continue past this 1-1 stage. And meanwhile, for the Zerg player, it looks like level 2 ranged attacks on the way. Not quite yet Carapace, but he's transferring a lot of drones now to the high yield, and he's going to be saturating that fairly quickly. I do expect him to get some of these gas geysers up, as Zerg as a race is quite gas heavy, but it looks like a maxed army heading for HuK's base. And how many colossi are out? A total of 2. And I think MoonGlade is going to want to drop some food right about now so that he can remax with a separate set of units. This is a very strong mid-game mix, but we are heading very quickly into the late game. It looks like MoonGlade doing the 180 and moving back with every single one of his units now. I'm really curious as to why he is doing that. And it looks like MoonGlade expanding once again, and this is what you need to do when you're playing Zerg. You just need to expand and expand again while your income is still high, so that you can expand even more. And that's just going to be something very solid for MoonGlade to do. But look at how much money he is piling up now, and he really probably wants that extra gas. Let's take a look. He has 2,000 minerals, yet only 400 gas, and this is why the Zerg players